Welcome back everyone, Michael and Katrina here from STR Wealth Academy. And in today's video, we want to go into more details on choosing your location and part of the series that we're going through now on how to get started in Airbnb in 2024.
Yeah, so just a little bit background on us. We're the co-founders of STR Wealth Academy. We've been running our own short-term rental business since 2018, and the ins and the outs of everything Airbnb short-term rentals, whether or not you're going to purchase, rental arbitrage, or use the partnership model. This video is going to be incredible to learn how to look and understand the proper location before you even get started in this game.
So as the old rule of real estate applies, what's the most important thing? Location, location, location. So what we want to do in this video is show you some more of our process of how we actually find the best locations to do this business, but do it in a way that gives you the right information and data so you can make the most informed decision possible. Okay?
Yeah, and you don't want to be shooting in the dark or get against the walls. How do we make sure this is a long-term profitable property and that you can analyze that pre-upfront information before you actually even get into it, especially if you're purchasing? So really is analyzing softwares and utilizing AI as well to start doing this number crunching for you. So without further ado, let's dive in.
So we're going to pop our screen open here really quick. We're going to show you guys some cool stuff. All right, so what we have in front of us right now, this is the tool we like to use a lot in our business. This is AirDNA. So essentially, if you've never heard of it before, essentially how it works is it's a tool that scrapes data from other available short-term rental listings that are either on Airbnb or VRBO, and it will give you a lot of information on specifically how well the market performs and what are the best performing properties within that market. So for the sake of example, if you log in, you'd be just on the dashboard here. We're going to go to market research, okay? And we are going to jump over to Charleston, South Carolina. Now, this isn't an endorsement for this particular market. We are just doing this simply, for example, to show you the process, okay? So I'm going to type this in, Charleston, South Carolina, okay?
Okay, and let's do the market analysis in this area. So part of this with AirDNA, please make sure that you do have at least at a minimum the pro version. There is a free version, but it's not going to give you all the data and number crunching that you need in order to make a verified data-driven analysis for looking into this market.
100%. So when you first come in, it's just going to default to like all properties, all property types. What we generally like to do is we like to kind of narrow this down a bit. So we don't typically recommend doing short-term rentals by the room or private room. So we typically will want to go or the entire place rather. Now, if you refer back to some of our earlier videos when we talked about identifying your ideal guest, if you're going after a certain type of customer, then that's probably going to dictate the kind of properties that you are going to be looking at too, right? So if you're looking after the business traveler, you're probably going to be having smaller units, probably in a downtown core somewhere. So that might be an apartment, a condo, something to that effect. If you're going more after young families as an example, then you might be getting more into single family homes where you can sleep more people under one roof. So for the sake of this example, we're just going to filter by house, okay? Generally speaking, we like to do 3 bedrooms and up. In most markets that we look at, those tend to be the most profitable. Let's just take a look at it, okay? So we'll go 3 bed, 2 bath, okay? You can sleep 6+ people. You can obviously do 6 with that many as well, okay? Generally speaking, like 2 people per room. If you have a sofa bed, you can probably get up to 8 to 10 guests depending on the amount of sleeping arrangement that you have. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and hit apply. Okay, so that's obviously gonna change some of the inputs here.
Okay, so as it's loading here, there's going to be a few areas we want to look for when we're looking at market research overview. So when we're scrolling down, we want to be looking at annual revenue, occupancy rate, average daily rate. So let's scroll down. Let's get some of these data inputs that we can start using AI to crunch these numbers and really have a meaningful number set in order to know which properties to go for, what kind of amenities and location.
So generally what we like to do, if you're going through this, you're going to get a lot of information, okay? So you're going to see what the competition kind of looks like, where are they listing their listings, how much rental growth there has been in the market over the last 3 years, okay? Because that's obviously going to tell you the amount of people that are getting into this. It's going to tell you some of the most popular amenities that people are having in their listings, which is driving performance. You're even going to see things like who are the biggest management companies, which can be really helpful information because obviously with a quick Google, you can find out what are they charging, what's included in their fees and packages, what's not included, and that gives you some further ideas on how you might be able to differentiate your offering to start getting clients for your business, okay? Now, specifically what we're going to do is we are going to grab information on occupancy rate, revenue, and also the rates. Now, the way we like to do this, it goes by over the last 12 months. We like to go over the last 3 years. And specifically, we want to look at the trend. Is revenue growing? Is occupancy increasing? Is the market improving over time as a short-term rental market? Okay?
Yeah, so we want at least the minimum 3 years in order to see that trend. 1 year is not enough information. Before you especially purchase or get into a market, you want to see the overall trend in the last few years. So what's big is making sure it's the last 3 years and that you're able to export the data just at the top right, and it'll be an Excel spreadsheet there.
So if you go ahead and export that, okay, so I'm going to export that data. I'm going to go down to revenue next, okay? So we're going to go to last 3 years. So revenue is up 20%. That's a great sign. So we're going to go ahead and export that. And then we're going to jump down to rates. So the average daily rate, we're going to go last 3 years as well. Okay, so that's had some declines by the looks of it. We're going to
So revenue's been up, but average daily rate is down. So it's an interesting kind of blend between the two, right? And this is why we want to be able to look at the data over 3 years.
Okay, so now that we have this information, what we're going to do is we're going to hop over to ChatGPT and we're going to use AI in order to analyze some of this data. Now, if you're not a super analytical person or you're not much of a number cruncher, this could be enormously helpful for you, okay? So for the sake of this example, you're going to grab your spreadsheets, you're going to enter them into the chat feature within ChatGPT, and we're going to use the following prompt. Okay, so we're going to say, analyze this data and give me the key takeaways I would need to know to see if this is a profitable location for short-term rentals. Okay, now because it's analyzing Excel sheets, it's going to take probably a couple minutes for it to do its number crunching and all the analyzing that it's going to do. Okay, so once you get that, it's going to give you some pretty insightful information for you, okay? So it's going to plot trends in occupancy, daily rate, revenue, and then it's going to give you some key findings here. So obviously this is going to depend on which market you're looking at, what locations you're looking at, but you want to take a look at this and really start to discern some helpful information on whether or not this would be a great location to start investing in or starting your business in, okay?
Okay, so with those outputs, we want to analyze it even further. So then we want a second input after here. So after you get that there, we want to be able to say, perfect. Based on the data, can you give me the key features I should look for in a property? For example, how many beds, bath, is it a house or is it an apartment? And what kind of amenities we'd be looking for. So this is really crucial in order to actually see what are the best properties. And then really from there, it'll analyze it further for you to narrow down the specific outputs and the specific type of properties that are the best in that market.
Now, what you can do, so if you're a person that's actually looking to purchase the property, you can then take that output you get from ChatGPT and you can run over to ChatGPT's property finder and you can see some of the different properties that might be for sale. Okay?
Rather, the AirDNA's property finder.
AirDNA's property finder, that's correct.
So under here, there's only 2 properties for sale that is pulling from AirDNA, but you can also just look on
Zillow,
or the real estate in the actual market and just make sure it actually is matching the outputs that ChatGPT has, number of beds and baths, location, the type of amenities, and any ones that you're setting up, making sure you're putting the odds in for your success to make sure that any of the outputs that came from ChatGPT, you can garner what is going to have the highest income, so you put the odds in your favor.
Now you can do the same thing as well if you were getting into rental arbitrage. So you can go on sites like Zillow, you can go on Craigslist or any kind of classified ad site where it's going to be listing properties for rent. You can then take, again, the outputs you get from ChatGPT, do filtering to find the type of listings that match that criteria, and then you're going to start obviously contacting these people to let them know about what it is you do so that they can, well, you can get your business started, okay? Now, obviously, as far as prospecting, finding clients, that is an entirely different subject, which we'll cover in future videos. But as far as choosing a location, that is the ins and outs. It gives you kind of a high-level overview of how we think about doing that and how you can find some of the most profitable listings in whichever market you're looking to get going in.
So this is how we use AI and different softwares in order to see and analyze a market, and it does the heavy lifting for us to make sure before we even get into a deal that it has the highest profitability odds in our favor. So I hope you found this video extremely helpful. It gives a little bit of insights to to make sure you're getting the right properties off the get-go. So please make sure it gives a little bit of insights to make sure you're getting the right properties off the get-go. So please make sure you're liking and subscribing and turning on notifications for any new videos when we go into exactly what Michael said, more into prospecting, how to actually have these conversations and look for these profitable properties from the get-go.
Now, if you did like this video, in the next upcoming video we're going to get into more detail on how you would start doing competitor research. So again, figuring out what does your competition look like in the market that you're looking to get set up in. What are the hosts that are doing extremely well? What are the key characteristics of things that they're doing? So again, if you're looking to get started, well, we can then model best practices, and then that'll catapult you to greater success in this industry. Okay, but again, stay tuned. Make sure you watch the next video because we have some really exciting stuff to share with you guys.
All right, see you in the next video, guys.
Take care.